I want you guys to put yourself in this scenario. You're about to get married to the love of your life, and in this story, the love of OP's life is James. However, what OP finds out is something very shocking. The mother-in-law of the story is a giant racist. She doesn't want OP to be with her son because she just doesn't think that they make a good couple. We'll get to that, but the crazy part about the story is the mother speaks French, and she goes on speaking French around everyone in her family. But what they didn't know was that OP speaks French too. Matter of fact, she learned it at a very young age because her best friend was a foreign exchange student from France. So little did mother-in-law know every single disrespectful racist thing she was saying in French. OP understood it all, and you won't believe this outcome. What do you do when the family of the person you're about to marry doesn't quite turn out to be what you expected? I guess that's too vague of a question, yeah? So let me just come to the point. What do you do when you find out that your soon-to-be mother-in-law is racist and doesn't want you to marry her son 1 month before the wedding? I wish I could say that there's layers to this and that this isn't exactly how it seems. But unfortunately, it is. She's just plain plumb racist. See, I'm black, and about to be married to her son in a month. Let me tell you the whole thing so you can understand it for yourself and you can tell me. So, I'm Juno, and as I already mentioned, I'm black. I have kind of a weird issue when it comes to my identity. See, I'm fully black, but I was raised by white parents. Well, obviously I was adopted, right? I don't really know who my biological parents are, but I don't really care about them. See, to me, the people who raised me are my parents. I've never cared if appearances don't match. My parents had a very tough job to do, as they had to raise me and let me be myself while teaching me values, and while helping me understand my position and my identity. Growing up was tough on my parents, as I never fit in with any group. You see, for a long time, I had a hard time dealing with my identity, but slowly in life, I learned who I was. By the time I started working, I kinda got the best of both worlds because of who I was. Well, funny story, right? At first, I could not get the concept of racism because of the kind of parents I had. I soon learned that the rest of the world is different, and some even disliked my parents for even adopting me, can you believe it? But they've always been happy with that decision and proud of me for being me, and I also never let them down. So, after my parents, my fiancé James is the nicest and most caring person I'd ever met, and this is the same reason they drove me to like him. Well, when we met for the first time, I was instantly attracted because of how nice and kind he was. He wasn't interested in any fake manly stuff that everyone was doing and wasn't scared to look soft, as we call it. He looked like a person who would play a bully, but was the kindest little butterfly. So obviously I took a liking to him. And after a few months we went on our first date, and after that first date I was sure that he was the person I wanted to stay with. After being in a relationship for almost 2 years, he dropped down on a knee and proposed. And in about 2 months after that, I will be engaged to him for about a year. At first, there were no problems with his family. Honestly, there were a few people who didn't like me, but everyone in his close family loved me and accepted me as their own. He only has his mom Eve and sister Monica, so I was scared to meet them at first, but they also turned out to be like him, and I really connected with his sister. Now, years later, Monica and I are basically besties. During the first dinner, I didn't notice any dislikes from his mom, but Eve was not happy to have me as Monica. Slowly throughout other meetings, I noticed her growing warmer to me little by little, but for some reason I couldn't shake the feeling that she disliked me. Sometimes she gave me a look that weirded me out, and sometimes her compliments just seemed a bit backhanded. I can't really tell you if I genuinely felt like this then, or I just think I felt it after finding out the truth. But I know for sure that sometimes she did give me a weird feeling. I remember the day one of James' uncles calling me all sorts of insulting names, and I'm not even going to get into what he said. Well, James wasn't there, obviously, but Monica quickly jumped to my defense and started screaming at him. Then Eve took a hold of the situation and spoke to that uncle in a corner and then asked him to leave. But the fact that she never defended me against him left a sour note in my mind. See, I did notice her indirectly telling me many times that I was a well-mannered person because I was raised by my parents, which meant I was good because I was raised by white people. But I always chose to give her the benefit of the doubt for exactly 3 reasons. 1. She always did it in a way that was hard to point out, and she never directly insulted me or said any racist stuff. 2. She was going to be my mother-in-law one day, so I did not want her to come out as racist, and I didn't want my fiancé to have a racist mom. It would kill him. 3. Even after doing all of this, she never told my fiancé to leave me, and was excited about us getting married, so it made no sense for her to be racist. See, I believe racist people can actually hide their behavior, but only up to a certain point. If Eve was racist or disliked me in any way, I would have found out. But I had no idea that Eve was a different breed of racism, something I'd never seen before, and I still don't understand what she's doing. Now let me get to the main bread and potatoes. She never once told James anything about disliking me and never showed any hatred towards me. She even helped, and contributed towards planning our wedding happily. But 2 days ago, two days, I saw a different side of her that left me so shocked I resisted believing it. Well, it just happened. I don't really remember, but either Eve's grandma or grandpa were French, and many members of their family speak it very fluently. But James doesn't, as he never learned it. So he never found out that I can understand French but not really speak it. See, let me tell ya, growing up, I had a French friend who taught me how to understand it, but I never really liked the language enough to learn to speak it. So nobody in the family knows that I basically fully understand French. Not my fiancé, not Eve, not Monica. So when I heard Eve speaking in French with her family friend during an early celebration we were having, I never expected the conversation to be about little old me. Yes, I did eavesdrop, but I was standing on the other side of the table and they were facing the opposite side of me. So they actually had no idea. But I hadn't gone there with that intention. I just heard the friend mention my name, so I listened closely to the rest. And this is what they said. The friend asked her how she was letting this happen and how she even agreed to this. Eve stayed silent and, the friend was quite frustrated. She asked Eve how she could let her son drag the family through this mud. She said, just like her, they were proud people who were white, who could not let this mixing happen. At this point, I was fully expecting Eve to, slap her across the face and tell her, that she was talking about something stupid and kick her out. But she just laughed. She laughed and chuckled a little and told the friend that she would never, ever let a dark-haired person like me play race mixing with her blonde prince. Yes, those are the exact words that she used, and I left out a slur. It just instantly broke my heart, and even though I used to hate racist people, I never expected her to be one, so it really, really hurt. I was actually so shocked by the first line that, a bit of the rest was just kind of a blur, as I could not take all of it in and was just trying to process what I just heard. I then heard the saying that she had a plan, and she also needed the friend's help. She never explained the plan per se, and they just continued to make racist jokes towards me, which I will not repeat. I'm not going to talk more about what they said, obviously, but it was in a sense of saying that my parents were stupid for trying to raise me as a normal human. And no matter how much they tried, I could never shed my skin. Can you believe that somebody would actually say that? It even got worse than that, but I've chosen to forget the details and only want to remember that my soon-to-be mother-in-law is really a racist person. After hearing a bit, I got so mad that I had to leave immediately as I did not want to make a scene there. I knew that Eve did not care, and if I had revealed anything there, she would have turned it all against me. After that, I did not know what to do or who to go to. There was nobody that I could tell this to without sounding absolutely absurd. I immediately wanted to run to my fiancé and tell him everything. He even asked me what happened when I was leaving, and I told him I was just unwell. I didn't tell him anything because I was and still am scared that he would not believe me. Let's just say I know you, the person reading. Now, let's say I tell your mom, the person you have known since you were a child, is a hidden racist. Obviously, you would not believe that, right? See, Eve has never shown her side to her children or even family, like ever. So obviously, nobody's going to believe me. Well, this hurt me and confused me really badly. I decided to take a day to think about it first, and yesterday, after doing a bit of thinking, I called Monica and asked her to meet me. She was confused at first, but when I told her it was urgent, she rushed to see me. I decided to tell the truth, hoping she knew something about her mom's racist side, and I hoped that she could support me when I went to my fiancé. But as soon as I told her, she just gets really confused, and she told me that there's no way in hell her mom could be racist. I must have overheard or mistake. I did my best to try to convince her, but she refused to believe me, and she asked me the same question I'd been asking myself: if her mom was a racist, why? Oh, why let her son date me? And why wait till a month before the wedding to do something? I told her I had no idea, and told her maybe her previous plan failed. I then begged her to give me the benefit of the doubt and try to find out the truth for herself, and well, for both of us. She wasn't one bit convinced, but she also knew there was no way that I would say something like this, so she told me that she was going to keep this in mind. She also warned me to not go to my fiancé as he loved Eve even more, and told me he would probably get mad at me. I told her I wasn't planning to. Honestly, I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to get out of this mess that I find myself in. To be honest with you guys, it's bad. My wedding, it's in a month. What do I do? Does anybody have any information? And just please try to help me. Update number 1. Hello, it's been a week, and I've managed to figure out what's going on thanks to Monica. I'll explain in a bit, but firstly, I want to thank you guys for responding and giving me advice on what exactly to do. So yes, thank you for sharing what you would do in trying to help me get out of my situation. For the people telling me not to trust Monica as she's Eve's child and could be just like her, I will just tell you one thing. I've known Monica for like a really long time. Unlike Eve, she cannot be racist. She's just like her brother and has never judged me based on the color of my skin. Honestly, I don't even need to tell you guys this, as you'll soon find out what she did for me and learn for yourself how great of a person she really, really is. See, she's helped me a lot in the past, so obviously I trusted her enough to not tell her mom I found out. The people telling me to tell my husband are also going to be disappointed because I still have not told him anything yet. I don't know how I can tell him without any proof. I trust him enough to know that I have a chance that he might believe me and get mad at his mom. But why put him into this position? It's going to tear his heart apart to convince himself that his mom is racist and doesn't like the person that he wants to marry. I would rather he find out when everyone else does. At least this way he'll be sure about what to think, and it'll hurt him less as everyone else will be shocked too. But I do now have an opportunity to tell him, but I just don't know if I should. Let me explain what really happened, guys, so you get a full picture. So after my last post, I was sure that Monica was not going to believe me and help me. So after I decided that I was going to tell my husband about any of this, I thought that I should just start trying to find out what Eve was planning to do to me. I knew that I had to do this fast, as I could not let her succeed in her plans, as that would mean essentially leaving James. Even though I was busy with wedding prep, and believe me, it was impossible to find time for myself during that. I finished everything as quickly as possible to investigate Eve's plan. I knew that preparing for the wedding would be useless if I did not do anything, but no matter how much I tried to find, I could not get any information. The only two people who knew, were Eve and her friend. Both of them weren't going to help me, so I was stuck in such a terrible position. But then yesterday, out of absolutely nowhere, Monica texted me telling me that she had some information for me. When I went to meet her, she told me that she did not believe me at all, and at first, but could not get the thought of her mom not liking me out of her head. It made sense for some reason, and the more she thought about it, the more she got suspicious. She then decides to trust me on this one and try to find out what she was about to do. I was telling her the truth. Even though Monica did not believe me, at all, she still took a risk and tried to find answers for me. That's how much she trusted me, and what she found out blew her mind. So she went to the friend of her mom, who I had said knew about the plan. Monica then told her that she knew a bit about the plan too, but did not know the specifics, and her mom refused to tell her. When the friend tried to play dumb, Monica acted racist and said some things she apologized to me for later on. I did not mind at all because she was bringing me information that's going to help me so much. When the friend found out that Monica shares the same racism as them and hates me, she was easily on board to tell her the plan. Monica also asked her to not tell her mom as she could get mad at both of them, and she agreed to keep a secret. The friend then told Monica that Eve was planning on framing me as a thief on my wedding day and getting me caught. This would cause enough chaos to ruin my reputation with the family and guests, and it would make it easier for her to convince James that I was a bad idea. Not only that, she also believes that this way she can make him swear off non-white girls without even showing that she's racist. With this, Eve has fully transformed from a racist person to just a garbage human being, somebody who doesn't even deserve an ounce of respect or mercy. After Monica told me all this, she apologized and told me that she was going to help. I told her I wanted to think about this for a few days and have asked her not to tell anyone. So let me think about this for a few days and I'll let you know what we're going to do. Also, please give me any good ideas that you have. Update number 2. Hey guys, I'm back, so get this. It's been almost 2 weeks since my last update and my wedding is closed. Also, this will be a very short update, as nothing much has happened, and I just want to let you know a few things that are going on. So let me start from where I left it off, yeah? So after a few days of my last update, me and Monica met, and I asked her if she was genuinely ready to help me. I told her that I wasn't just going to spoil her mom's plan, but was going to expose her in front of everybody. She was going to be outed as a racist in front of everyone, and I needed to know if she was okay with that. She told me that her mom made the choice of being racist, and she's okay with absolutely having everyone find out about it. What she really thought of people like me. If she was not afraid of having that opinion and did not think it was in any way wrong, then she needs to accept it in front of everybody, don't you agree? Well, the thing is, after she went and found out that what I told her was true, she was burning with anger about the things her mom said about me. She was both embarrassed and mad at her action. She told me that Eve had no right to treat me like that, and she should not have tried to do anything. Now that she was trying to stop my wedding, it was fair game for her to help. I was just happy to have her by my side. And then we came to the real issue. What I wanted to do and if we should tell my fiancé about it. I really wanted James to know what was going on, and I've been wanting to tell him everything right from the start. But the more I spoke about it, the more discouraged I felt about telling him. When I asked Monica about this, she told me the same thing that I've been thinking. She told me that telling him would be a mistake, as we did not have any proof. Even if she believed us, he would just confront his mom directly, ruining everything. And even if he found out the truth, it was just going to break his heart and would make him very sad. Unlike Monica, Eve, she was the hero for James, who loved her a lot more than everyone else. She told me that if we were going to do this, James could not know until everyone found out. And I agreed with her decision and told her that I wanted the same thing. I wanted him to hurt as little as possible. It makes most sense, right? I don't know. But the fact that all of this is going to happen on the wedding day is going to make a really bad memory for him. We then discussed our plan. All of it was very simple. So Eve is planning to frame me by putting her necklace in my bag in my room during the wedding. So I've planned to put a hidden camera there to catch her in action. Monica is then going to bring that video up while she accuses me, and she's going to get exposed. This is the game plan, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'm more nervous about this than the wedding itself, and my fiancé has absolutely no idea. Hopefully everything goes well, so wish me luck. Update number 3. Hey guys, this is the last update. It's been months since my previous one, and I'll just jump into it, yeah? To start, I hope you're ready to say congratulations because yes, I'm a married woman. My wedding day was, obviously, not very ideal, especially for my husband. I love saying that. But in the end, it did go well. Let me tell you what happened. Let's just jump to the wedding day. So, the day I was very nervous was the morning time, as after setting up the hidden camera, nothing was in my hands anymore. My soon-to-be mother-in-law was ready with her plan too, and Monica was ready to help. The only thing that was scaring me was how James was going to react. So, right before the wedding, Eve started screaming, bloody loud, and gathered the attention of everyone. James came running to help, and she told him that her very expensive necklace had been stolen from her bag and she wanted it returned. When no one did, she called the police. I asked her to calm down, but she gets mad and asked me to shut up. She was really acting her heart out, and I was just glad I found out about this earlier because if I had not, things would have gotten ugly for me. By the time the cops got there, she had already started accusing me and told everyone I was the one she had seen near her stuff last. I told her I had no idea what she's going on about, and James was telling her that I would never do that. Then she started her plan and told her friend, "Check my bag." So she, along with the cops that came, checked and found the necklace, and she starts telling everyone, "See, I'm a thief." I let Eve celebrate for a few minutes and then told everyone that I remembered having a camera there. Then Monica came in and showed everyone the footage. When people saw how Eve herself planted the necklace in my bag, everybody was confused. Everybody was silent, and she was just trying to explain what was happening. Before she could squirm her way out of this, I told everyone how I had heard her have a conversation with her friend and how she called me racist stuff. James had a blank look on his face, and he could not understand what's happening. He could not believe the words being uttered out of my mouth. The cops, they left, upset they had to come, and then it was decided that Eve would get kicked out of the wedding. Bada bing, bada boom. She did not accept the racist remarks and was trying to talk to James, but even he asked her to leave. She was kicked out, and we all waited for James to process everything that happened. James then asked me how much of this I knew. I decided, I'm gonna tell my future husband the truth, and explained how I knew almost everything. After hearing that, he stood up and announced that the wedding was getting postponed. It would happen on another date if it happened at all. I stopped him as he was mad. I tried to explain to him why I didn't tell him sooner, and I explained everything. And when Monica backed me up, he believed me. He told me that I should have just told him, but was happy that I stood up for myself. Even though he was heartbroken, he decided to continue with the wedding because the show must go on. But my mother-in-law had one more surprise left to give. Before we could get married, Eve came on again after jumping the wall and getting herself hurt. She was clearly injured and dragged herself there, basically on one leg, just to tell her son not to marry me. She asked him to marry his own kind and keep the family pure. He then told her that she was not his mother anymore and asked her to stay away from the two of us. He kicked her out again and told her he did not care what she did next, but she probably needs to go to the doctor to check out that leg. After that, we went on our honeymoon. When we came back, we found out that she got cut off from most of the family members. Only the racist in the family spoke to her. As Eve got exposed, everybody around her hated her more than I did. She tried contacting my hubby several times, but he keeps ignoring her. He says she deserves to be miserable in life, and honestly, I agree. So this is it from me. I'm happily married, and in a bit of it, I'm just gonna say thank you. Cheers. This is my last post. See ya.